social media strategic plan update. Do we have a staff report, Mr. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. One of the things that Council asked us to do through the previous strategic plan was to find more and better ways to reach out to people in our community. And one of the things that we've learned over the years is that, you know, the newspaper, our newsletter, Facebook works great for some people in the community, but there's big sections of the community that don't receive news and information from those sources. Other social media outlets are more commonly used. So we contracted with a consulting firm back in July to provide some training for Ryan and for members of our staff so that we could create a team of people that are equipped to help put that content out there and tell our story better to the people of our community. So Ryan's going to give you an update on how that went and what they're doing, and I think you're going to, well, if you're on things other than Facebook, you're going to start seeing some of those things as well. Ryan?
Thank you, City Manager. Mayor, City Council, it's good to be with you. Yeah, really excited to talk about some of the strategic movement that we're making in the social media space, and the partnership and the workshop that we had with CiviSocial, Sam Tolles, really just, I think, lit a creative fire. I think we really got a lot of great tools and really cool ideas to be able to promote the city and kind of tell different stories and do it in a way that is consumable to a wider audience. So I'm really excited to kind of detail some of that. You know, we did an audit at the beginning of this that I participated in with Sam. We kind of looked through what we were doing and what was working, what were just the general assessments. And so we were very active on Facebook, and I think we've upped that a little bit, you know, since I've been here a couple years ago. And then we were new to Instagram. We started that account probably about two years ago. And then video content, 1 to 2 videos, plus or minus a week, but there was a need for more, some of the emotional storytelling to get to the heartbeat of the community, and also a need for more content creators. Being a solo public information officer, obviously grateful to Kevin Lockwood on my team, the webmaster graphic designer, Adam Chastain, who's really focused more on the event space. How do we kind of create a little bit of an ambassador team and promote from within? We've got great storytellers, even though you don't have communications maybe in your background. You know, pretty much anybody with a phone these days is doing such cool stuff with Instagram and the Reels and the TikTok space. And so how do we build that as a team within to be able to magnify and create greater opportunities for storytelling? So the new strategy, Cathedral City, we're going to continue to endeavor to post more video assets to social each week. Hopefully you've seen some of those, and I've got some to show you at the end of this presentation. But posting will be done in accordance with optimal platform posting cadence. So really reviewed a lot of cool tools and analytics about, you know, what time of day people are most active, really getting into the numbers of how we can magnify and enhance engagement. Already seen major strides when it comes to that. We have added a TikTok account, maybe a little nervous at first, but I'm learning a lot more about the platform. It's not something that I use in my personal time, but I'm certainly putting my professional hat on, and now I've become, I would say, honestly, a TikTok fan. So thank you, Sam, for that. But you know, we're going to dial down Facebook a little bit. We're still going to be very active there. And next door, we're going to really just kind of make sure we have targeted posts, maybe really just neighborhood city services, things that would be impacted, trash recycling. You know, the video content is not, next door is not really, you know, the king of video content. So really just making sure we're doing just more of the informational type updates. A revised approach on YouTube. So we're going to try to do some YouTube shorts and take some of our long form content and make it a little bit more easily digestible and consumable there. Focus on personalized content, trends, and consistency. The good news is TikTok and Instagram have a lot of those trending kind of topics at your disposal, but we do have some tools now that I think will be able to kind of take a different look at that as well, and endeavor to create more content in Spanish, I think, which has been obviously a strategic plan item from you all as a council to find ways to reach our Spanish-speaking audiences, and so we'll continue to do that, and I'll show you an example of we're doing a little bit of that already. So in consultation with the city attorney, Mayor, you brought that up, Eric Vail did meet with Sam and CiviSocial, and we talked about updating our social media policy, which I'll probably bring to you all at some point forward with some updates there. Some of the major adjustments from a policy standpoint: communications directed by staff to facilitate better connection to residents, limit engagement, and some of those comments in social media that you were talking about kind of drive the conversation a little bit more to a direct message kind of format. and ensure that we have copyright parameters and updates to align with some of the new tools that we're using. We don't want to get caught with videos or pictures, and Eric did a good job of pointing this out to make sure what we own is what we distribute, not taking from anybody else or violating copyright laws. So the storytellers, so we've got a great group of ambassadors. We're calling them social media ambassadors for the city. We had over 20 participants attend our story workshops. We got that down to a group of about 8 that's meeting routinely. We're meeting once a week for about 30 minutes. We're doing some team activities for video storytelling. The staff was incredibly engaged. I thought we did a great job of developing dozens of relevant story ideas. I don't have all the slides here, but we came up with probably 6-7 slides of just stories that will now start ticking down and going, and obviously would love your feedback and input as we go through this process as well. But we also held a special workshop for some resident advocates, which I want to give a shout out to Antonio Beishu, Rick Travis, who had participated. I know they were here tonight, and really just seeing some of the positivity that we can hopefully instill in the community to be positive ambassadors of our stories and all the cool things that are happening in the community too. So they were incredibly engaged and committed. I'm already seeing them, they're sending me stuff. Hey, look at what I'm working on. And so it's really, really exciting to see from a community standpoint how we can drive that positivity as well. Leveraging our staff to really explore more in the AI space. Kevin Lockwood on my team is really very engaged and interested on that topic and has helped from a design, and he's even doing some video editing for us now too with the YouTube shorts. So doing a great job there. But it's critical to encourage creative output so content cadence can be increased. So as we do this more, we will know what works, we'll know what doesn't, and then we can kind of adapt as we continue to go on. So this is a lot, but I wanted to show you that we are going through an actual process here. I will be doing most of the editing, finishing the video. We have a share file drive now where everybody from this ambassador group is dumping the content in. They have asked in some cases to edit themselves and letting them go with it and having some creativity, but I will kind of be that balance of being able to make sure we keep a polish and a finish on the content that we're all proud of, and then scheduling and posting, and then the analytics refinement, all of that will be held up by the communications team. But the creative team now of about 8 is doing a lot of really great work in the ideation and the creation space in particular. And then just wanted to kind of give you a overview. I mean, communications, the 27 hours a week, that hasn't changed much. I mean, the dedication to communications and the work is probably much more than that, but this specifically on the kind of new tools that we're using, this social media creation, being able to spend at least 27 hours a week on that. And then I've set aside time on my calendar to be able to make sure I have some of that creative time as well, in addition to all the meetings and all the exciting stuff that we have going on in the event space. The creator space, about 15 hours a week, but that's across 8 people. So the commitment is really minimal for the return on investment that we feel like we're already seeing. And then some of the stakeholders that I mentioned out in the community, being able to provide really cool content to tell all the cool stories that we have going on in the community, and the incredible services that we continue to provide. So with community engagement, CiviSocial recommends leaning into a test and learn strategy. I'd definitely say that we're in that first 3 to 6 months phase of the implementation. So that's currently underway. Hyper focus on new engagement and sentiment, trying out a lot of new things on TikTok and Instagram. You mentioned the autism certification. They did it a day earlier than we were expecting, but I did finish a video with our city manager putting our certification sticker out there today. So we went ahead and got that out. It's not in the presentation, but if you wanted to take a look at that, it's on our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And the voice, using it to determine what to make and to keep consistency. So as we find out through this ambassador group who's really good on camera, who likes doing that side of it, to have some more diversity in the voices that we're highlighting and the faces that we're highlighting here in Cathedral City. And then as we move into the second phase of storytelling, which will be post 6 months, we'll have a better sense, as I mentioned, of what's resonating and what's working. Utilize kind of the learned proactive storytelling, and there'll be a hyper focus on new engagement and sentiment, and then use the context behind your storytelling. And this was a really good piece of wisdom that Sam provided. Use the context behind your storytelling to reinforce it. And so, just because somebody saw something on one platform doesn't mean they saw it on, Facebook or everybody's looking and consuming news in such a different way now that we really have to be able to run the gamut as far as the ways that we're active. And so we're going to try to do that as best as we possibly can. But you have to be adaptable. I'm sure sure, 6 months from now, I'll be talking to you about a new platform that's now gained a lot of momentum and users and subscribers. It changes really, really fast. TikTok being on the scene for the last few years is a good example of that. There's a little taste for you, and I'll answer any questions that you have. But we're really excited. I want to thank Sam and the CiviSocial team, but I think we're off to a really great start with this new strategic plan.
This is great. TikTok is worldwide, so since we're international, somebody in Sweden will be watching here in Cathedral City. Is very, very important. Yeah, I guess I'm good with it. Social network is very, very popular. So
Absolutely.
I'm just going to wish you best of luck with it. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
And the cost is good too. I mean, it's not that
Yeah.
expensive. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
Council?
I just wanted to say, when we were doing the short-term vacation rental, that whole process, and they said that the average age of the Cathedral City resident was 37. That's a big difference. So having something and have this vehicle that you've spent the time on, and our team is, to make it appealing for them to be involved in the city, brilliant.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Raymond, anything? You good? You good?
Thank you.
Councilmember, good?
Yes, Ryan, what you're doing is wonderful. I think that we have to jump into what the new generation is doing. And one of the things that I'm really excited about cracking the code, as a matter of fact, David Sanchez here, that he's been talking about code enforcement. Maybe we can educate our residents and to let them know what the most common code violations are, and hopefully they can start to change their ways and beautifying our city. Another suggestion that this gentleman said as well is if we can come up with a video to actually play the day before or the day after meeting to invite residents to attend the meeting. As a matter of fact, Mr. Sanchez here sent me a flyer that the city of Desert Hot Springs sends to all the residents, making them alert that there will be a council meeting, and it's an invitation, not just a council meeting. It says you're invited to a council meeting. So it'll be nice to let them know, and especially if it's a short little video. From what I can see is the videos are only about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, usually under 90, but there'll be some that we'll try to go no longer than 2 because it's attention spans and research, it's smaller and smaller. So absolutely. But appreciate that feedback. It's a great suggestion.
Also doing something like you did, doing some of these in Spanish as well, because it's great when people come out and actually attend the meetings and they get to find out what we're actually talking about and voting on. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you all.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I would, on the cracking the code, I hope that the code compliant officers are not smiling as they're giving people tickets.
We won't get involved in too many actual incidents, but yes,
we want them to enjoy their job. But, council comments?
Appreciate that.
Or public comments?
I don't have any requests to speak forms for this item. If you're a member of the public and you wish to provide public comment, please raise your hand.